As a creator, I love to do experiments. To me, experiments is where you learn to grow and succeed. I'm going to do a little experiment today, and I hope you stick around and check it out. Now, I have been recently playing with VoicePal, which I made a video about. I've talked to you about it before. It's an app made by Ali Abdaal, and this basically allows you to have sort of an AI ghostwriter that helps you sort of get your scripts out, right? In this case, instead of using it as a script, because I love the way it asks follow-up questions to the things that you say, I'm going to basically talk about what I have learned over the last 365 days of creating a YouTube video, and I'm going to have VoicePal interview me in a sense to help me make sure that I don't miss any questions that you may have asked as you come to figure out what I learned over the last year doing these YouTube videos. Let me pop on your iPhone here. I have a little setup, bingo, and then I'm gonna hit the VoicePal app. And again, I'll put the link down in the bottom so you can check it out if you want to try out VoicePal, but this should be fun. I'm gonna hit the record button because it records what I say, and then you'll see how this works. I've just completed 365 days in a row YouTube videos. My goal when I started the project was to show people that the creator burnout that is typically spoke about on the internet is basically a cliche term that is wildly overused. And because so many people talk about it, it is my belief that it actually scares some people from starting what they actually want to start, beginning that YouTube channel, content creating, starting a new business, so forth, so on, etc. I think so many people say this so often that it scares people who really want to get started before they even get started. So I decided to prove with a little test. I wanted to prove that if you have your purpose figured out, or you're willing to put away the ideas of success, or should I say the other people's ideas of success, you can easily power through 365 days of content creating without even pulling a sweat. Now, I could have done this as 365 shorts, but I did it as 365 long form videos. I did add shorts here and there. I did live streams probably a minimum of 2 times a week, but they weren't even part of the calculations. I mean, 365 long form YouTube videos. The average video was somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes long. And I did it even during times of travel. I did it from hotels. I did it from cars. I even did it from airport lounges. I wanted to prove that the excuses of not enough time, not enough gear, I have a lot of things going on, all these things could be mitigated if you kind of knew what your purpose was. I guess what I wanted to do was culminate these 365 days of creating content by answering questions that other creators might have about how this process went for me. What type of things did I learn? So I'm going to have you interview me and ask the questions that they would ask so I can best help these people out. At this point, you hit the button. It's going to do a little translation or transcription, and then it's going to come back and it's going to ask me some questions. And I'm assuming that it would ask questions similar to what you would ask. So I hope this helps out in some kind of way. All right, so scrolling down, give it a second to think. And it really depends on how well the internet's working, on how fast it is. Okay, so the first question is, what specific strategies did you use to maintain motivation throughout the year? The second question is, share any unexpected challenges I faced during this project, and how did you manage your time to effectively create daily? I think I want to do the last one first because I think it's the most important question that they've posited so far. How did you manage your time effectively doing daily content creation? Well, I managed my time by not overthinking. I gave up the concept of perfect videos. Early on in the process, I gave up the idea of heavily edited or retention edited videos. I think for about the first month, I thought it was cute and I showed off all of my editing techniques. I put in a lot of B-roll. I put in a lot of overlays. If I had to give myself a score of being an editor, say 1 to 100, I'm probably a good 85 to 90. I'm a relatively good editor. However, I just thought it would be more appealing to people who don't want to edit if I can show them that I can make these videos without a lot of crazy editing. So I would say the most effective way to manage the time is to give up the perfection concept and give up the idea that every video needed to be a home run. And lastly, to give up over editing. Okay, let it do its magic. And I just want to make sure that that point is really clear. If you go back and look at Nice to Know, Nice to Have November, where I started this 30-day challenge, it turned out to be 365. It really was. I was editing some crazy stuff. I was adding all kind of weird things. And I was like, no, fam, make it stop. Okay, so what challenges did you face? And how did the audience respond to the daily the feedback approach? Let me hit the ghost button to see if I can get back to those other questions. What strategies did I do to stay motivated throughout the year? I wanted to make sure I answered that, so that's why I hit the ghost button, which will go back and get some of the questions if you spark it to go a different direction. The strategies I used to stay motivated throughout the year was understanding that this content wasn't about me, but it was about serving my audience. I wanted to absolutely make sure that when I made a video, I had at least a single person in mind, if not multiples. I wanted to make sure the videos were never really about me. And I also don't quite 100% believe it's all about motivation. I think it's about doing it whether you're motivated or not. There's ample times where you're not hungry, but you eat anyway because you need to appease a mom, an auntie, a friend's mom, or, a boss at dinner or something. So oftentimes when you're being unselfish, you can do things that have nothing to do with your personal motivation. That being said, being purpose-driven, motivation has never been a problem. Because I understand my purpose 120%, I am never not motivated to get one more step closer to fulfilling my purpose in life. That sounded really bougie, but let's hope it works. Let's hope that makes sense. That sounded a little crazy, but anybody who knows me knows this to be true. Someone who's just watching this for the first time is going to be like, he's full of himself. I swear to you, I'm not. I just really do understand my purpose. And I have a purpose in life, for those who don't know me, is to try to positively impact the lives of 1 billion people. And I went for something that crazy because I'm the type of person that doesn't like to lose. And so I really do want to hit it. And just the other day, Mary Lou made a video where she said she's doing her job because she's part of my billion and she wants to, amplify that. And I've heard that from a couple of people over the last couple of years of doing this. So I guess it's working, right? That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Can you share any unexpected lessons you learned about content creation from the process? I do want to add, how did your audience respond to your daily videos? The audience responded to my daily videos mostly positive. Many people came through and stated that this was the content that they needed to hear at the time. And well, that's actually part of the purpose, is to make sure that you're positively impacting the lives of people. So when I get comments that say, this hit right just now, this is exactly what I needed to hear, this is what I want to do, those things really did add to the fuel of wanting to continue. I will say there really wasn't a point where I didn't want to make a video or I felt like it was going to be impossible. But the definite funny things that really do make a difference is when your community comes in and they posit a question or bring an idea to the table that makes it even easier for you to create that next piece of content. I swear I want to point out that the gold mine for all your content ideas lives in the comments and feedback. All right, we'll do a couple more and then we'll round this out. Of course, I'm going to leave this opportunity open for anyone that has questions to drop those down in the comment section below. Maybe we'll do a live stream to wrap this up or something like that. But I definitely challenge you to try VoicePal. Again, not a sponsored video. This is just an app that I absolutely love. And I love the way it causes me to bring out my questions and my thoughts, because It's like getting AI to help you write without it sounding AI. It still sounds like you, but it's basically like having a personal interviewer in your pocket to help bring out the things that matter to you. And anybody who's watched me during this challenge, one of the things I kept repeating is like get down and just make heartfelt videos. Like put all of the crazy stuff away, pop up a phone and a microphone, put all your gear out and just make some videos straight from your heart because you know what you want to say. You're just panicking because you see other people out here, quote unquote, winning. A lot of those people are panicking too. I did community engagement. Can you share any unexpected lessons that you learned? Let me check the ghost because I think there was one other thing that I wanted to cover. So let's see what the ghost had to say. How did you decide on topics for your daily videos? What advice will you give for someone hesitant to start their own? That's a good one. Are there any particular tools or resources you found indispensable through this year? Yeah. This app right here, VoicePal, of course. And how did you handle the days where you felt uninspired? Don't really have those. Not braggy. I just don't have them. I have all kind of demons piling through my head, so I can make a video about those. What impact do you think your daily content creation had on your personal growth? I can cover that. Did you notice any change in your content creation style over the year? I kind of just covered that. And how do you balance? Oh, here we go. That's a good one. Of course, the question always comes up, how do you balance content creation with other personal and professional responsibilities? This is the one exact point that I wanted to make during this video. And this is why people like to scream that, there is this burnout situation is when your desire to create content and life collide with each other. The first thing I do is tell myself right out of the gate, there is no separation between a work and life balance. There is only life. There is no balance between work and life. Work life is still life. Home life is still life. Family life is still life. It's just all life. So if you get rid of that cliche separation, you just understand that everything is life. And then when you understand your purpose, then getting this content done was exactly my personal and professional responsibility. So while I had family things that come up, even had a death in the family during this time, instead of crying by myself, I leaned on my community for support. Instead of feeling over inundated by work, I used the video creation time after I finished work for long events or travel days, whatever, as a respite. I used it as a relaxation. Come and talk to my audience straight from the heart was like journaling out loud to people that I care about and who I assume care about me. So when you put it in that aspect, it's not a burden, it's not a duty, it's having conversations with your friends. And I believe that absolutely can make it easy to balance the difference between work life, personal life, and content creation life. Because in general, if you were having a problem with your family or you were having a problem at work, you would go to a friend and probably talk about it, AKA complain about it. Well, I just did that in the form of content creation. And how could that effectively help someone else power through a similar situation? Okay, I'm going to go back and do one more. How do you think your daily content creation had on your personal? What impact do you think your daily content creation had on your personal growth? That's this one right here. I'll go ahead and press that. I think the number one impact that daily content creation had on my personal growth is I got much better at editing. I got much better at aligning my time to make sure that there was space to create. I got much better at saying no to unnecessary things that were fulfilling areas in the life that I thought were important. But when I had to move them out of the way to make space for content creation, I realized they weren't as important as I thought. So I can get rid of things that were kind of sort of a waste of time. I also, thanks to my community, was able to go and finally seek the therapy that I probably needed to do many, many years ago. But through the content creation process and self-discovery and self-learning, it made me decide to go get my ADHD checked out. And now I am in a much better place. I am learning more. I am on a discovery journey. I am in my get this mess done era, and life is good. So in a way, it was almost like free therapy. I just did it out loud in public for everyone to see because, well, I'm an open book. And that might not be for everyone, but the feeling that you get of positivity from other people by doing nice things for other people definitely come into play. And I think that is super, super important. And then last one. The advice I would give to somebody hesitant to start their own content creation journey is to just start. You know, there's an old saying that there ain't nothing to it but to do it. And I really, really believe that to be true. If you start out and just start creating, get over the idea that somebody else is more talented than you. Because most people misdefine talent. Most people think talent is some natural gift that has been given to you, and it makes someone better at piano or better at content creating or better at speaking in public. And the reality is, talent is the rate at which you grow a skill. So if you have to make a video every day and it takes you 20 videos to nail a skill, and it takes me 2 videos to nail a skill, that makes me slightly more talented at that skill, but that doesn't make me more talented at something that you are more talented at. It's not a birth-given thing. It comes from doing the actual work. And you'll find that the cool thing about content creating is average people can have above average results if they spend more time working on what's important to them and less time with the distraction. The talent is not actually the content creation skill. The talent is the ability to be consistent, stay focused, and put in the work to get where you got to go. So the number one advice is get started, get 1% better, learn on the way, understand that this process comes with ups and downs, have a short-term memory when it comes to the downs, and have a long-term memory when it comes to the ups. And definitely don't listen to other people trying to tell you how to do your journey, because your journey is yours. It's yours. All right, that is my doing this in a nutshell. If you want to see what the final output comes out, I'm going to let this thing finish the transcription and I'll hit the YouTube script button. I'll probably turn this more into a newsletter instead of a YouTube thing. But I hope that running through this process, and I'm going to pat myself on the back. I'm going to go celebrate like I did it, 365. I've proven my point. It wasn't that hard. I got a lot of help from you guys. I got a lot of new people. I came up 169 people short of my 20,000, but I feel positive that I'm going to get there. And to me, it's just been an incredible journey. Like, I learned so much during this process. I met a whole bunch of new people, and I just got to say thank you for sticking around for this process. So what happens here? What happens from here? I'm not going to slow down, because I always say whenever you finish a challenge, the worst thing you could do is take a break. There'll be no break. Will I post every day? Maybe not. Maybe not. Who knows? Have no idea. But there'll be no break. I'm about to start Nice to Have November, and that's going to pop off basically tomorrow. We're going to get started there. I'm in the process of trying to reteach myself how to use Notion in the best way. I tried a couple other tools. I'm coming back to Notion. I got a lot of stuff that's missing from my process. So now Notion has stepped its game up, so I'm ready to dive in there. And then we'll just come back to this process and make videos on the way. There'll be a lot more live streams again. And I just hope this really helps somebody out. Like, if it only help, this is my thing. This is my thing right here. Let me make this go away so this can make absolute sense. Come here, fingers, do this. If this video that I just made just now, having this weird app interview me about my 365-day process helps one person, it served its purpose. One. If it helped 2 of y'all, I have doubled my purpose. That's what this content creation game means to me. I think too many people are stuck on the numbers, stuck on the outcome, stuck on what they think is the right amount of folks to see a video. There is no right amount of folks. If you are the person who grabbed somebody right before they stepped off the curb in Final Destiny and the bus drove through, do you think that person cares how many other persons snatched them back up off that curb? Just needed one. Just one. Every day, one person changes somebody else's life in a positive way. That's important. I think that's important. All right, let's take a look and see what the app came up with. And let's see. It gave, here's just a basic outline. Mindset over burnout, time management for daily content, stop overthinking, let go of perfectionism, abandon need to heavily edit videos, prioritize consistency, minimal editing to the process. Make your content about serving your audience, not yourself. Make your content about serving your audience, not yourself. Make your content about serving your audience, not yourself. I say it 3 times to make sure the people in the back hear me. Motivation isn't necessary. Discipline is and purpose is important, 100%. Treat content creation like any other responsibility. Do it even when you don't feel like it, 100%. Audience feedback and engagement can fuel your drive. Get positive feedback. And even if I got negative feedback, for the most part, I ignored them people because they're not important. Comments and questions from viewers became a goldmine for content ideas. Engage with your community and make them part of the process, 100%. Thank you guys for being a part of the process. Eliminate the idea of work-life balance. That was hard for y'all because everybody else keeps using that word. I'm the weirdo that makes up my own stuff, and I ain't got time to listen to them because it doesn't work for me. Use content creation as a form of self-expression and even relaxation. Share your real experiences with your audience. They say authenticity. I'm so sick of that freaking word, but I'm going to share you what's really popping off in the life, hook or crook, no matter what's going down. And personal growth through consistency was I improved my editing skills. Yes. I improved my time management skills. Yes. I learned to say no to less important activities to make space for something that was really important to me, which was this. Content creation led to self-discovery, personal development, even seeking therapy. Correct. And publicly sharing your journey can be therapeutic and inspire others. Correct. All right. Just start. Don't compare yourself for talents to other people. Consistency. Embrace the ups and downs. The journey is unique. You've heard all of that before. Sometimes you need to hear it again. Practical steps. Start today. Start with a clear purpose. Let go of perfection. Engage your audience. Integrate content into life. Reflect and grow. This did a very good job. Okay, I'm going to probably turn this into a newsletter and post it somewhere. But I just wanted to, number one, make sure that I covered what I learned after 365 days of creating content and hopefully trigger someone else to get started. Are you too old? No. Are you too fat? No. As a matter of fact, I started this sucker at damn near 280 pounds. I was 276, 278 when I started December. And I was about, at that point, 30 days into it, about 45 actually, because it was December 16. I was 45 days into the process. I started my weight loss journey. Today I sit here at 227 pounds and shrinking. So yeah, not too fat now. Too old? Nope, because half of y'all is old too. No time? Excuse. Don't know what to talk about? Come and tell people you don't know what to talk about. Help them help you discover the you. Like most of the stuff that is holding you back right now, I'm going to just call it absolute bullshit. If this keeps calling you back to the mat. Now, if you've been called to it and you give up and it never calls you again, cool. This ain't for you. But if you've been called back to the mat 4 or 5 times and you tried to give up 4 or 5 times, it's calling you. This is what you need to be doing. Something is telling you you must do. So just do it. Oh, Nike, don't sue me. I just let that one slip. I don't know who need to hear this, but if it was you, let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, press the subscribe button, ring the notification bell. And right about now, the algorithm is going to show you another video I think you should watch. And I agree with it.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet.